Hey, I'm Indy Clinton, and this is Sleep Deprived, a podcast where I dive into all the unspoken parts of life, including relationships, friendships, beauty, and motherhood. This is life unfiltered, sleep deprived, and running off caffeine. Welcome to Sleep Deprived. We are here with season 2 with the one and only Big Eddy. Welcome. You didn't think I was going to invite you back?
I didn't, but thank you for having me.
You're
I always
welcome.
love coming and chatting with you.
I don't
It's
know.
the most time you give me uninterrupted.
Yeah, I was a little bit nervous because, you were featuring on season 1 and I got a lot of feedback saying I speak over you. But I would like to say that was pre-planned because obviously it was his first podcast, so he wanted me to take the reins. But today we're doing something a little bit different. This episode is for the dads and obviously for the partners too. But I wrote in on Instagram and I got you guys to send a bunch of questions that your partners want to know or want to ask Big Eddy to get his input on it because he is wiser. You know, I was going to say older. Yeah. But I say older in inverted commas or whatever they are.
Oh, inverted commas that make it different?
Well, you're older than me, okay? You're not younger than me, doll.
Right.
You're older than me.
Yep.
So some would say you're wiser. You're more well-lived. So I'm excited to see your insight. You haven't seen the questions.
No.
And I've written a bunch down. So it's going to be kind of like an interview format.
Terrifying, but sure, let's go.
And I'm just going to let you take the reins, baby.
Okay.
By the way, I'm sick. So if you're wondering why I sound this sexy and look this good, it's because I have some sort of fucking illness my kids have given me from daycare. So question number 1, how have you been? We're going to start off easy.
I've been well, a little bit tired. The kids are quite challenging at the moment in their sleep, especially Sol with her 4-month sleep regression.
What did I pay for this week?
Yeah, we had a sleep nurse, which is amazing.
Yeah.
Thank you.
You're welcome.
And she's sleeping like a ledge, so it's good.
Are you getting better sleep?
I am.
I feel like you say sleep kind of works in cycles where it catches up because you still look quite tired, but obviously hasn't caught up on you just yet.
Well, there's this thing called sleep debt, and it's a thing. So when you don't have enough, you go into debt, and you've got to make that debt up to then get back to a baseline of good sleep. And I think I'm still catching up. I feel like I look tired.
Do you think that's just having 3 kids?
Yeah, it's got something to do with it for sure.
Yeah. And you're working and you're going to work and you're coming home. How do you find the balance of work life, dad life, husband life? We don't have sex, so that's clear. Our relationship's kind of falling off the perch there. But how do you find that balance? Because I know you go to work, you work in the office 4 days a week, you come home, you help with the kids, you're very hands-on, you're up during the night. So how are you finding that balance?
It's challenging. At the end of the day, there's not a lot of time during the day, right? So it's up at 5:30 or 6 when the kids wake up. It's breakfast. It's help get them changed, walk the dog, in the car. I know you think my travel to work is a break, but I'm actually on the phone working the whole way. I'm not like listening to music and
Joe Rogan.
I'm actually doing work, and then it's flat out at work, meeting, and then back in the car and home to help you out. So it's like it's pretty jam-packed. There's no downtime at all, really, until night and when the kids go to bed. And then we're both exhausted and we're trying to keep our eyes open as we're eating dinner or chilling out. So,
do you have any time for yourself?
You bought me a gym membership, which is amazing.
You go to the gym in your lunch breaks.
I do. I make it a priority of me to go in my lunch break to go to the gym.
But that's your only time.
Which is my only time for me, which is great. At least I'm getting that in, clearing my mind. It's almost like a meditation, almost in way of getting to the gym. It's weights and cardio. It's an hour. It's done. It's move on with my day. So that is a really important part of my day to give me, I guess, some mental and physical release that I need to manage stress, I guess, and anxiety and stress and busyness and everything that comes with it, with dad life and work life.
And you like to come home at nighttime, which I don't understand because I don't watch TV, but you like to turn on the TV after dinner and like zen out. Like for me, I go straight to bed, but you're like, no, I can't. Otherwise it feels
you go
like.
to your phone.
Well, some would say that, but some would say I go to bed. I spray my spray,
Yes.
but you like to watch TV because you say it makes you feel like you need to wind
It's
down.
probably habit more than anything, but I do feel like I need to wind down. But then I flick through and there's nothing really on unless I've got a Netflix or some show that I'm interested in watching. But if it's just general kind of, I'll most often turn it off and then go to bed.
Yes.
And gone are the days of sleeping on the couch. I used to love falling asleep on the couch as my kind of unwind, but I can't do that anymore. It's just that broken sleep. Like every minute of sleep is so valuable now that we have 3 kids, right? Every single second has to be the highest quality sleep we can get in order to feel somewhat normal the next day.
Yeah. And you get
Do you
snappy.
feel that? Like I'm like,
Yes.
I've got to get it in. I've got to need my sleep. I've got to get it in somehow.
I feel like I can't even go out for dinner with friends because I look at the clock and I'm counting down sleep. I'm like, oh my God, it's 9:30. I could be asleep right now. Do you know what I mean? Like I don't want to go out because I'd rather do a lunchtime thing than nighttime because I get so anxious.
100%. Lunch is way better.
But I get anxious over everything now. So that probably we'll
You do a little
we'll
bit.
get into that.
We're gonna, yeah, we are. Okay, good.
Not yet. Okay.
okay.
So I'm gonna ask a few questions like an interview because I want the partners to feel like they have someone they can relate to. So question number 1 from another dad.
Yes.
From another dad to another dad?
Sure.
From a dad to another dad?
To a dad to a dad.
From a wife to a dad?
From a father to a father.
Let's just get into it. How do you think kids are meant to be raised from one man to another man?
Interesting. I think I feel like to this day and age, kids are wrapped in cotton wool a little bit, I think. And mother's natural reaction or instinct is to protect. I think kids that cotton wool should be off. I think obviously there's got to be limits in what you do with them, but I think boundaries should be pushed in way of doing things outside, not age appropriate, but again, pushing those boundaries a little bit. And I think it's important for development for those kids because you look at the cotton wool kids, I mean, how are you growing, both mentally and physically and just in general life? So I feel like obviously calculated and I mean, the only time we get really angry with our kids is when something's super dangerous, right? And they've been told not to do it. So I think that's really important for the development of kids these days, and that's something we try and instill.
Can you give an example?
Well, should we go to the barbecue example this week?
Yes, we should.
Okay. That's actually a really good example because you overreacted.
Okay, this is a great example, but this also comes down to, so I never used to, but I have really bad anxiety at the moment. So I had seen what was going to happen before it happened, and that's why it made me go crazy. So Navy wanted to put a chop on the Barbie, and Ben's like, sure. And I'm there, and I'm like, I can't say anything because Ben will bite my head off that I'm telling him how to parent. So I'm letting him do it. But in my head, I'm like, he's going to get burnt. I know he's going to get burnt, but I can't say anything. So then I go and eat my lunch in the car. Don't ask me why.
I was like, are you watching this from the car?
One of those weekends, and I didn't want my kids to eat my lamb chops. I had just cooked, and I'm like, I'm fucking sitting in the car. Shut up. And I'm sitting in the car, and then I look across, and Navy starts jumping around like a bandicoot, and I'm like, oh my God, I literally saw red. I saw fire. I was like, this has happened. I knew this was going to happen. And he had been burnt, and it wasn't bad at all. And he literally, I don't know why he was jumping around. There wasn't even a mark on him once we assessed the situation. I think he got frightened because I don't know why.
I think your reaction frightened him more. So
I do know why.
The chop on the Barbie wasn't the problem. It was the sausages and the little bit of grease flicked him. It could happen to anyone, right? And I get it's a little bit dangerous, but
you were right next to him.
I was right there. But I mean, he loves helping and cooking, and so why would you take that from him and go, no, go sit down, and we don't want you to get burnt. Like a barbecue, unless he puts his hand on the barbecue and holds it there to get third degree burns. He's not really going to get hurt.
Yes.
A bit of fat flicking on him, yes, it's going to hurt him. Is it going to burn him forever? No. So that's a boundary where he wants to do it. Sure, let's kind of help him do it and explore that.
Yeah.
Like he's obsessed about camping, like fires and helping cook and stuff. So like let's kind of
Totally
help him on that journey.
And I feel like I would usually I would be so chill with that stuff. But I think because my anxiety's bad and I saw what was going to happen before it happened, and then I got triggered when it happened, and I was like a crazy. Everyone was looking.
Crazy. I was like, mate,
you told me I was like, what was that thing you described me as? Like from an apocalypse movie or something.
A what?
I don't know. You described me as like an alien from a movie. It was
terrifying.
Anyway, okay, question number 2.
But sorry, back onto parenting also. I think having boundaries with your kids, like really strict boundaries. I hate rules for the sake of rules.
Yeah.
I think we were brought up both in probably households. Sorry, Mum and Dad. Sorry, KL and Shane. We're brought up in households where there were rules for the sake of rules.
Yes.
Why? Because I said, we don't really parent like that. And I think it's important that you don't parent like that. It's like, why? Because it's dangerous.
Yeah.
Because this might happen and therefore you might get hurt or Bambi might get hurt.
Yeah.
Like rules for sake of rules, boring.
Boring.
Boundaries, really strict boundaries. And everything within those boundaries is playtime. Or not playtime, but it's kind of work through it together and see if it's yes or no. Or, you know, I mean, that's what I think. That's what I think is probably, it's pretty simple, but it's the foundation to kind of good parenting. And what do I know? But that's how I feel.
You're a great parent.
Yeah.
Question number 2.
Sure.
How do you help your wife, me, just in case?
Why don't you answer that?
Just 1 second.
Oh.
When I'm feeling overwhelmed and you can tell I'm touched out and snappy, what do you do that can help me without me telling you what to do? Because I find a lot of mums say, what can my partner do to help me? Like when you come home from work, I don't want to tell you what to do. I just want you to do it. So how do you do that?
I think I do this quite well.
You do?
Yeah. So I can tell from the phone call or the text message that you're touched out or you're getting to the verge of touched out. So when I get home, it's like, it's just a takeover of what's going on, right? So it's taking the kids, whether it's 2 of them or all 3 of them, depending on the level of touched outness from you, just getting them out and having a break. And I mean, I get home sometimes, I go, just go, like disappear, get out the door, which you don't. You hang around a little bit or you take your time to get ready. I'm like, just go, like get out, get that release, like get away and then come back and be better. Not, you know, not be better, but just get the stress out, you know what I mean? So
you kind of just come in and take the lead and you take the kids away or
take the kids away or take them down for a play or take them outside or take them to the park or do something with them, take them into the room, depending on what's going on. But it's almost just that release from the kids that you need.
Yeah. And sometimes it's not even that I want to get out and do something. It's like you take them so I can just cook something in peace because, you know, I cook every night. So obviously I would love to cook dinner in peace. I'm kidding. I never cook dinner.
No.
Just because you've kind of...
But that's something I do every night. Like
that's
most nights I cook dinner so you don't have to cook dinner.
Well, you've actually
and I'm a much better cook. The kids prefer
see,
my
I
cooking.
would... No, you just complain about everything I cook. Like I make chicken... What do I make? That chicken thing? I don't even know what. A chicken curry and you tell me it's like a tomato soup. Or... I make bolognese and I hide veggies in and you're like...
It's constructive criticism. I'm just trying to help
you
you
told me Navy got food poisoning from my food and he was like vomiting up bolognese and you convinced me. You said it was because I put bone broth in it.
I think it was, but anyway.
Anyway, question number 3. 2?
Did we answer the second one?
Yeah, I hope so. Do you worry about raising your 2 daughters in this world we live in today? Obviously, it's very scary out there, and every 4 days, 1 woman in Australia dies, which is absolutely terrifying due to domestic violence. And it scares me, and I think that has very much triggered my anxiety going out in public spaces now. How does it make you feel raising 2 daughters knowing that, you know, 1 and they've got a whole life ahead of them? Does it scare you?
I think raising kids in today's age is scary, whether they're male or female. I think the world's becoming a very complicated place because of a number of reasons. But the female thing is a tragedy, right? And it's something that is almost unbelievable. And I'm so glad there's so much awareness out there now for it, and something has to change. And whether that's legislation or whatever, like that has to happen. But I think it starts at home and raising men and boys in a way to stop that. I mean, respect for women, being able to deal with to women in general, right?
Saying no, consent,
exactly like that. And I think obviously it's a hangover of past kind of old school parenting and chauvinist kind of, it's just how society has kind of evolved. And I think we're probably on the cusp of that turning now, and the awareness that is happening. But again, I think it comes down to every parent that has a male son being conscious of that and having the equality and the respect and the what are the words for their sister and for their mother. And I think it starts
in the home.
It starts with the home, and it starts with the father making that lead, right, for his son to then kind of take example from.
Yeah. And I think we do that. I mean, obviously we're still learning, but I think we do that in a really great way at home. Little things like with Navy, he is very loving and always wants to hug Bambi, and Bambi is so anti-hugs or affection or love. And she doesn't want it. And we're like, no, Navy, no means no. She doesn't want it. I'm sorry if it hurts your feelings, but she doesn't want a hug right now. So back away. And when she's ready, you can give her one, or when she says yes. And I think teaching those little things as a young age is really important, because that teaches consent. And I think it is so important because we can shape these boys into incredible humans, just the things we teach them at home. And those little things about respect and consent, I think, are super important in changing.
I think it goes both ways.
Of course.
I think it's also about not allowing things to build up, like addressing things, like him with getting in front of her, like, no, Bambi's first, like those kind of little manners, respect things are important. Then also when there's a disagreement, letting it go and not harping on it from either side. You know what I mean? Being able to let things go and not let it build up, and, having awareness of the feeling or the frustration and kind of saying, well, it doesn't really matter, does it? Who cares that she's taken that lolly? Like, let it go. Yeah.
But then in saying that, I also think I'm trying to teach, and you are too, Bambi and Sol, but she's not quite there yet, to be quite strong, independent girls. And I think I'm very strong-minded, strong-willed, so I don't think they'll have a problem with that.
No.
Because I think it's important for girls to stand their ground. And even little things like Bambi will have a toy at the park. And this is such a small little thing, but when a kid has a toy, as a parent, you immediately are like, yeah, share the toy. You immediately go to that. But now I'm kind of stepping back. I'm like, no, you don't have to share. This is your toy. You can pass it over and share with the little kid when you're ready, but this is your special toy you bought from the house. You don't have to share, just share. And I think kind of catching yourself out on things, instead of being like, I used to be someone would bump into me in the grocery store and I would say sorry. So I'm trying to rewire my brain. I'm like, I'm not sorry. You just bumped into me. Like, why am I so always over apologetic and trying to constantly please people?
Yeah.
So I'm trying to change my ways in order so I can teach my girls, no, you don't need to say sorry. That person
But I think
bumped
there's something in that. It's almost people pleasing, or how you're brought up, or
yes.
I don't know what it is. I'm sure someone way more qualified than me would be able to tell you what it is, but there is something there, right?
Anxiety. No, that's so true. And I think it's just really important to kind of teach girls from a young age to be strong-minded, stand your ground, don't back down. And it's a scary world, and we're still trying, and we're still trying to figure it out. And I buy that many self-help books to try to teach us that we'd never end up reading because we don't have time. But I think we're doing a good job. And we're always learning, but it's a dark place out there, without sounding.
I don't think it's dark. I just think it's just changing so rapidly.
Social
media. I mean, the world's a complicated place.
It is scary. All right. Question number 3 or 4. I don't know what I'm up to.
Just keep rolling.
So being a stay-at-home mum, obviously that's my role. Now I'm working a bit, so I'm still kind of clutching onto the idea that I am a stay-at-home mum. But my mum friends tell me, no, you are a working mum now. Like,
You most definitely are a working mum.
I know, but I am trying not to tell myself that because I think I've always wanted to be a stay-at-home mum and I'm not quite ready to give that up just yet. I don't know. Just don't even ask me why. It's just like a mental thing. But you've had the kids to yourself. You know, I was away in LA. What do you think being a stay-at-home mum is like? Because a lot of partners think it's like a holiday for the mums. Like, you know, we get to go to the park, we get to go to the beach. Like, it's so easy for us mums. We have picnics, we talk shit with our friends. Like, how hard can a stay-at-home mum really be? Are we just taking the piss?
I think anyone that says that is someone that hasn't experienced the kids for themselves by themselves, right? I mean, on the surface, it might look like that's what you do.
Because we're so good at it.
No, but I mean, with that comes a lot of other complexity and stresses, like getting them ready for the park and, you know, getting them snacks and doing everything, dealing with mum, look at me, like the park. Like there's not sitting down chitty-chatting. Like you're holding your baby, you're talking to your baby, you're making your baby not fall
always
over.
Worry if they're sick,
like
rashes.
It's relentless, and that's what it probably is. It's mental relentless in way of the worry, the always on, the dealing with getting organised, feeding them water, dealing with their questions the whole time. Like it's super exhausting.
Do you think
I think it's important to have a break because of how resilient it is and how repetitive it is with them. It's important you have a break somehow, and like sleep time during the days is a break, right? But it's only a tiny break. So it's in no way is it a walk in the park.
What's harder? You've experienced both, going to work in an office or being a full-time stay-at-home mum?
I'd rather go to work.
Because it's easier. Mentally, physically.
I mean,
No,
it's different.
What's
it's
harder?
Different.
Office job or stay-at-home?
Depends.
Stay-at-home with
It depends
kids.
harder. There's nuances in different hardness, right? In
Of
what
course,
you're doing.
Of course.
But in way of like relentless.
Mental load for your mental health.
It's super hard. It's like I would prefer to go to work, to be honest. Yes. It's super hard. It's really, really difficult.
So dads, what did you say? If dads think that, they've clearly never had the kids to themselves.
Truly.
Or changed like a dirty
Like
nappy.
when you went away and I had those couple of days, like...
You acted like everything was fine, but can you tell me the truth now and back?
Of course
Pick
I'm
your
going to act like
words
it's fine.
wisely though, because I probably might not ever go away again once you tell me, which could be good for you, right?
I think the kids are better for me. I mean,
Yeah.
I just think they are.
You always say
Because
that.
because it's a different, they're used to you, so they know they play up with mum. And I think that's an age-old thing. I think that's probably been happening forever.
Yeah.
With me, though, they're a little bit better, I think, because it's different.
Yeah.
But it was challenging, right? Like from the moment you wake up to the moment you go to bed, just like maybe a small break for a nap, if you can get all three of them down at the one time, you get that little bit of break. Other than that, you are on the whole time. Bambi's pulling shit out, you're picking it up, it's food, it's spilled everywhere. It's just constant, right? Trying to play with them, trying to, you know, help them as they explore or play or... It's heavy.
So now you see why mums are always so touched out and over it.
Yeah.
Like it makes so much sense now. And
Yeah.
I'm glad you've been able to see both sides because it probably makes you feel sorry for me more. And not judge me as much.
No, 100%. Like I know the days are hard.
They're long.
And I try, like, you know, I try and do my thing in the morning and then I rush off to work. Like I try and give you as much time as I can in the morning, then I rush off to work and then I try and organise my day so I can be home, you know, and help with dinner and that. And it's working well, you know, at the moment.
Yeah.
But it's a juggle for me. Like it is hard for me as well. Like you think I'm just cruising to work and having a good time.
I don't think that.
Like I'm always rushing and I'm on the phone like the whole way here. You're like, why can't you answer your phone? I'm like, I was trying to get some work in while I was coming here. You know what I mean? And I was back to back to back phone calls.
Yeah.
Anyway.
Question number
Poor
4
me.
or 5. Do you ever feel dad guilt? I feel as though dads just get it so easy. Their lives don't change from the get-go. You don't have to be pregnant. You don't have to lose the weight. You don't have to feel the pressure to bounce back. You don't have your tits leaking of milk. You don't have hemorrhoids popping out of your ass. Do you feel dad guilt? And I know you feel guilty. It's different. I mean dad guilt in the sense like, do you feel physically ill going to work every day because you're not there for your kids playing? Not guilty for me that I'm left with the kids, because I know you feel that. But do you like, when you're at work, you're like, oh my God, like my heart hurts because I should be there. I feel like I'm being such a failure. Do you get that?
No. I mean, I know they're in good hands, right? Which is part of why I probably don't have that guilt. I have guilt, like I have guilt for you that you've got to deal with that, and you've got to work and you got to do what you're doing, right? And you're jamming in so much stuff at the moment. You're amazing.
Thanks.
Yeah.
Thanks, Daddy.
No worries. But you are, like, you're jamming in, and like just the whole always on the hustle is hard, and we've tried to compartmentalize your days a little bit so you can be free of dealing with that when you're dealing with the kids. But there is guilt, but I don't have guilt saying, oh my God, I should be at home with the kids. And that's something you have, which I'm trying to not teach you, but make you aware that maybe you shouldn't have that guilt, because what you're doing extracurricular or on the side or working is something that you want to do, you have to do. And I think it gives you an outlet as well, right?
Yes.
And you're really good at it. So why would you deprive that to have every second of the day with the kids? I think having a break away from the kids is good for your mental health, is good for them. Then when you come back together, it's better. So no, I don't have guilt that I'm not with them every second of the day.
Whereas mums feel this guilt. Like my guilt, the kids, Navy goes to, I've unintentionally signed Bambi up for 2 days a week at daycare without me knowing. Like last Wednesday, Ben was like, get her ready, she's going. I'm like, no, she's not. And then I messaged her daycare teacher and she goes, yeah, you said yes. I was like, I do not even remember saying yes. So I get this guilt because Navy's at kindy Monday, Tuesday, then Bambi's at daycare now, Tuesday, Wednesday. And then on a Thursday, I'm like, I can't have anything booked. Like I literally have to be with the kids Thursday, Friday, all of them, and be on and take them for ice cream. I felt such mum guilt because I was going away the other week, that I took them to go to Kmart. They love Kmart. Then go and get chocolate cupcakes and juice. And then on the way home, we stopped at Macca's and I got them fries. I fed them so much shit that Bambi vomited because I felt so guilty. So I had to overindulge them before I went away for the night. And that made it hard because every time I leave the house now, Navy cries. Like every time I'm going somewhere for work, he cries and clings onto my leg. I was going out to a show the other night and out for dinner with a girlfriend, and he's like clinging onto my leg, crying, like so sad. So obviously my mum guilt is like up here. Like, how do I not feel guilty leaving my kids? It honestly feels like I'm leaving them to go move away for 1.5 years.
Yeah, but you're going for a night and you've got to do things for yourself to make you a better parent.
I know,
right?
but I hate that my kids do that. And then
I know,
like,
but they just
you don't see Navy doing that to you going to work.
No, he doesn't care.
No,
he does. He said to me the other day, I hate when you go to work.
Yeah. And he really looks forward to the weekends. And Friday, Saturday, Sunday is like Navy's shit. Like he loves that shit. He soaks it up. He wants to see his uncles.
But there's no alternative, right? I mean, it's just what you got to do. You just got to deal with what you have. And so me going to work or you going to the odd kind of event or show or whatever you have to do, and or spending a night or, going to LA or whatever you did and do. I mean, that's fine. It's natural and it's great. And I mean, your career and having time for yourself is really important.
Yeah.
I don't think I get any time for myself, but we'll talk about that later.
Well, yeah. Question number 5. Do you watch porn? No, seriously.
Is that your question or is that like...
I think someone asked me that question, but then it made me think, do you watch? And then I started thinking you don't really have much time to yourself, so unless you watch it on your drive home you say you're listening to... Is Joe Rogan your porn?
Joe Rogan's my porn. How would I have time?
I don't know.
Exactly. So no. I used to.
Did you?
Yeah.
When we were married?
No.
Oh, actually, yeah. You told me stories because you told me stories that you used to like magazines, and they used to be
that
really.
Shows how old I am. That was at school.
Yeah, in the boarding house. You said
yeah.
Yeah. Apparently there used to be like those pin-up girls in the middle.
Centerfold girls.
Centerfold girls that he used to
That
love.
shows how old I am, yeah.
Did they not have porn sites back then?
We didn't have phones. I mean, we had the old like flip. I think the first phone I had in year 12, should we be talking about this? So old. The Nokia 5110.
I don't know what that is.
You
Is it a
wouldn't.
flip phone?
No, not even.
Like, was there Pornhub?
No,
No.
there's none of that.
So you only had a magazine?
There was magazines.
There was no like Pornhub?
No, there was no website.
There's no website?
I don't know, maybe there were. But
So
there
would
was,
you watch
but you couldn't
movies
access
with
it. We didn't
sex
have
scenes in
we
there?
didn't have computers at school then.
Oh.
We had pen and paper. We didn't have computers.
So like say if there was like an R-rated movie that came out, like sex
Yes.
scenes, would you go to the cinema and watch that?
Well, in the dorm, in the movies and stuff. Like that would be like, what?
No.
Yeah, crazy, hey. Different world.
That's crazy.
Different time.
So you don't watch it now?
No.
Do we have sex ever?
Yes.
No, we don't. You're lying.
Like,
People
you
want to
get-
know. People actually want to know. I got a question. It was like, how often, because I feel like there's so much pressure. We probably have sex once a month.
No, more than that. I mean, this last month probably because you've been really angry and stuff and you just won't go to bed and you're tired all the time. But that's cool.
Yeah, Ben's...
Ebbs and flows. I mean, we got 3 kids.
Every
and our
time we have
youngest is
sex,
5
we have
months.
a baby. So
Yeah, fuck that.
we're kind of scarred. But yeah, I think there's a real pressure when you're a married couple. I think, like, I hear podcasts and they're having it every week or they do like a 30-day challenge. And I'm like, I actually couldn't think of anything worse. Like, especially in
you.
winter. Oh my God, I don't mean it like that, babe. I mean, taking my clothes off in winter is cold. Like, that's not my vibe.
I mean, yeah, but who are these people? What do they got going on? This is the thing. Great.
No, it's like a challenge for parents, like a 30-day sex challenge.
Right.
And I think I could never do that.
No.
That's just too hard for me right now.
Like every day, 30 days.
Yeah.
Maybe later,
See,
but not
wouldn't
right
that
now.
be like a man's dream? Or no?
Yeah.
So you do want to do it?
We can give it a go.
Okay, question number 6. How do you compare yourself to other dads?
How do I?
Yeah. Do you
I
compare
don't.
yourself?
No,
Do you think you're the most ripped?
definitely not. I want to be. I don't really compare myself to other dads. I try not to compare myself to anyone in any. I mean, there's good to be aware of maybe what other dads or other people in your life are good at and what they're not so good at. But I don't really compare. I guess part of being aware is there's some comparison, but I don't follow other dads and do what they do. Like I feel, and I don't want to sound like a tool, but I feel being a father came somewhat naturally to me. I
can
don't know.
say it.
Yeah,
Own it.
I feel like it came
Self-love, baby.
somewhat naturally to me. Like I kind of get it. I mean, there's certain things that I find challenging, and that's fine. And I mean, probably taking some lead off other dads on those things would be good. But no, I don't think I compare myself to. I just do me.
And I love that about you. You've always been someone that just does what they want, doesn't listen to anyone else, and I think that's really special.
But you know, like if you're like, oh, everyone's doing it or someone's doing it, I'm like, I don't
Yes.
care if everyone's doing it. This
No,
is what I want to
exactly.
do, and this is how I think we should be different or we should be better because, you know, just following the masses. I don't know. I'm almost counter that. If everyone's doing it, I want to go the other way.
Do you have a bunch of dads that you can turn to if you're feeling low or if you need to talk about something? Like, who do you have to turn to in fatherhood?
That's a really good question, and I haven't really thought about that. Like, I do have some mates, but they don't live close, that have kids around the same age. But we don't catch up because they live in the east and we live in the beaches. But they would be my people that I would go to talk to, but we don't see each other a lot. And then I got my other friends that their kids are like my mates from school and growing up, but their kids are quite a bit older, right?
Yeah.
So it's different stages of kind of parenting. So it's
And I
it's
feel
hard. Like
like-
leaning on those guys that are older and have older kids, they probably don't remember the challenges of now for me.
Yeah, and I feel
I'm
like
sure
you've
they're
actually
aware.
found that really hard because you obviously assumed when you have kids, like we're all just going to be hanging out, but like they've got 12-year-olds and you have newborns, so they can't relate to what you're going through. So like wanting to hang out and like go out to restaurants, and you're like, I could not think of anything worse, bringing my 3
Taking
young
our
kids.
kids to restaurants is just hell, right?
Yeah, but I
Like, it's
feel
not
like
fun.
they're just completely out of it. They've got other stresses now. Their kids are in high school,
Yes.
whatever, and you're in the trenches of newborn. We have new life kind of thing. So we're in whole different challenges to what they're going through. And I think you didn't realize that. I feel like you haven't lost them, but you don't see them as much as you used to because of that.
But me and all my mates were like so tight, right?
Yes.
We all lived together growing up, like from school, and we all like saw each other every weekend or played rugby together or.
Has that been hard?
Yeah. I kind of made that step when I moved to the beaches, right? When I was single, I moved to the beaches out of the east, and that was the first kind of step away from that life and being more independent and being kind of my own entity in the beaches.
Yeah.
Even though I did have some mates around there, which are good mates. But again, it's just life's busy, right? With kids and work, and then the weekend comes and you're tired or you're trying to hang out with your kids more. That time to hang out with your friends just gets shorter and shorter and shorter, or it's just really hard to organise.
So who do you turn to?
I don't know. I don't really.
So I think you need to like maybe reach out to more dads.
Maybe.
You've got a few from my friends. I've shared my friendships with you and you're good
Thank
friends
you.
with the husbands. I think it's really important. I think dads don't really talk about their mental health as obviously men don't talk about their mental health much. And I think as a dad, you don't go through the same transitions as a mother does when she transitions from a wife to a mother or a girl to a mother, a woman to a mother. They're huge transitions that affect everything. Obviously, you get affected when kids come in, but not to the full extent. And I think it's important for you to have that support, because who is your support? Like, you know, who can you turn to when you're feeling shitty or when you're feeling tired, touched out? Because you want to go and see your friends on the weekend and have a few beers, but then you're like, oh, I don't really want to drink that much because it's going to affect my sleep. Then I'm going to be tired and grumpy and I'm not going to be there for my kids the next day. Like, it's just kind of like a hamster wheel.
Yep.
So I think it's really important for you to find
Do you know what I do?
your boys.
Do you know what I do? Which is probably not a good thing, but I like in isolate, like I'll go and run the sand dune by myself. You know what I mean?
That's so sad. With a dog.
Yeah. But it's good. Like, it clears your mind.
I know, but
right?
you need someone that you can turn to.
Yeah,
you
but I don't
need
want to.
some
I
fatherhood mates.
Yeah, maybe.
You do. I think every dad does. That you can, somebody that's
But I
in
don't
the
want to
trenches.
sit around and talk. Like, yeah, maybe. Yeah. Okay.
So would you ever ask one of your dad friends, mate, are you okay?
If I saw signs, yeah, but not out of the blue. Yeah, I would. I
You
definitely
would?
would. I would, for sure.
But I feel like it should be something that should be asked more before you see the signs, because I feel like now when you see the signs, it's like,
Yeah, you're right. How you going? How's it all
I
going?
think you should.
Yeah. No one asked me that. And
No,
if they did, I'd
and
be like,
how?
it's fucking hard, man. It's pretty hectic.
Yeah. Well, I
Would
did
be my
ask you that as the
response.
first question and you told me it was good. So how is it going?
It's pretty hectic.
Do you feel like you're drowning at times?
Yeah.
You're sunken. You're pretty sunk.
Well, you know, it's, I mean, for everything in our life, we went COVID. Work's evolving and changing for me. We're in a rebuild at work, and we have been for some time. The market's really hard at the moment because of interest rates, coupled with young family life. It's hectic.
Judgmental people.
Yeah, but just over that. It'll be what it'll be. But I mean, it's hectic. It's hectic. There's pressure. There's pressure. But the pressure on myself, because I have no interest in being kind of mediocre. I want to be the best, or at work or everything I do. I want to kind of be the best level. So it's stressy, but it's kind of fun as well.
It's stressy. Yeah.
It's stressy, but
And
it's
you're doing
fun.
a good job, but I do think it's important for you to find, you've got your dad gang where the kids are all the same age and you hang out with them, not all the time, but I think it's important to have that a couple of mates that you can just turn to when shit's tough, when you're sleep deprived and you're like, fuck this shit. I'm over it. And I think men need to, especially dads, need to talk about their feelings more because it's hard. I see you, babe. I see you out there. Even though I'm like, where the fuck are you? Get home. Like, I see you.
Thank you.
But I'm not going to make you cry, so I'm just going to end it there. Question number 7. Do you resent me because I'm the stay-at-home mum? Would you like to be the stay-at-home parent?
Definitely not.
No. Do you resent me at all?
No.
Okay.
Do you resent me?
Mm-hmm.
You do. You resent my drives to the city every day.
I actually don't resent you as much anymore.
You resent me going to lunch with clients.
I do, but I don't resent you as much anymore because I'm finding my own groove and working and things like that. But I used to really resent you, and it used to really affect our relationship because I would be at home 24/7.
You went to lunch today, didn't you? And I'd be like, yeah, I did.
It got to a point where I had to check the receipts in his jacket pockets because he would tell me that he didn't go to lunch, but he definitely went to lunch.
So he doesn't want to make you feel like shit, right? At the end of the day, you're home with the kids. I was like, yeah, I went to lunch. You're like, oh, fuck, wish I could go to lunch. I was just trying to avoid that.
Yeah.
Making you feel shit.
Last question. I don't know what we're up to, but my last question would be, do you want another baby?
Holy. It's funny you say that. I was looking at Navy the other day and I was thinking another boy would be nice, but 4 kids.
I really want one. I maybe want 3 more.
No.
Why?
3 more kids?
Yeah. But not yet. The thing is, this is my plan. 26 now.
You could get another husband to do that.
Another 4. Could live the rest of my 20s.
Yeah.
Then maybe when I'm 33, 34, go again. Another 3.
With me?
Yeah. Would you be down?
I haven't thought about it, but it sounds
What do you mean? I ask you all the time.
For 3 more?
Well, just a few more kids.
I think 1 more maybe. Like 4.
But like
I'm from 4, you're from 5.
That 1 more would be lonely if we have it in it. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah, well, that's true. I haven't really thought about it, but yeah.
You'd be down for more.
I like our family unit as it is at the moment. I don't think I haven't thought about it. I can't answer, to be honest.
Would you want more kids, yes or no?
Maybe.
It's a yes or no question.
Yes.
Okay, let's do it. Anyway, we have a few questions that you guys have called in and asked. I don't know if they've asked me or asked Ben, but we're going to listen to them and answer. No, we're going to have more kids and answer truthfully. Question 1.
Hey, Indy. I really, really love your vlogs and I love following you every single day. I just want to know how Ben copes with you traveling and stuff. Like, is it like really hard on him or does he like a bit of alone time? Is he like that? Like, I love seeing Ben step in and do some vlogs too. It's really funny. I love your videos. See ya.
You can answer that. How do you cope with me traveling now?
Well, that weekend you went to LA, Mum and Dad came and helped.
Oh, yeah, I forgot about that.
So that was handy. I mean, because Mum was with the baby, but
Yeah.
I still did stuff with the other 2.
Yeah.
So that was a big help. I don't mind it.
Do you get annoyed that I'm doing this? Like, would you prefer me
Not at
just
all.
to be the stay-at-home
No,
mum?
because like I want you to do it. I think it's important that you do it. And even if it's not for work, even if it's just social, it's important that you do it.
Yeah.
Have time away and do that stuff. So no, and I like some alone time. Was you just shocked? Like I like alone time, you know, at the end of the day.
That's
like
true.
when you put the kids down and then, like it's okay, the kids are down, I can just kind of chill and do my own thing, cook my dinner and just relax. Like it's nice every now and then. I wouldn't want to do it every night by myself. That would suck. But
we also
every now and
speak
then.
a lot. When I'm away, we FaceTime and we have it on FaceTime and I get ready into my makeup and it's like I'm there. And then sometimes I actually have to hang up because kids will be screaming. I'm like, nope, I did not sign up for this.
But even during the day, I get a running commentary on what's going on anyway, like whether text or...
Yeah, I'm like one of those ones that just blow up his phone and I need pictures of all the kids every hour of the day. I need to see what they're doing. There's a new bump on Bambi's head. I'll zoom in. I'm like, how did she get this?
Literally.
But no, I think he really enjoys me going away. I should do it more often. Question number 2.
Hi, Indy and Ben. I love you guys so much. Your banter and just seeing your family is just the best thing ever. My husband and I have a little bubs of our own who's just turned 1, and we just love freaking relating to you guys and your relationship. I've just got a question for good old Big Eddy. How do you find navigating in-laws, and what has been your journey with your parents, with Indy and your
In-laws.
kids, and how often do you see them? I feel like we just don't know anything about your side of the fam. I would love to know your advice or thoughts on just extended family with your kids and how you guys navigate it all. I love you guys. Yay!
Yeah.
What is in-laws, right?
Yeah.
So we live...
And family.
Yeah, and then I'll get to my family. We live... I mean, our family ages are very different, right? Because I'm a bit older. So my siblings are a little bit older than your siblings. Your siblings are still...
In their 20s.
Kind of in their 20s, just girlfriends, not married, kids. And your family house is probably about 600 metres down the road, right, from our house. So it's very intertwined, but it's fun because I'm kind of living my 20s again through your brothers and your sister and everything that's going on. As frustrating as it can be sometimes, it is cool and it's super fun. And Navy froths on it, right? And Bambi will also, as she gets older, and so will Sol. So that's beautiful. I mean, your dad's around a bit, so he's always helping, and you know, we see him every day. Like he came over. This man was in our front yard this morning stealing dog food because he'd run out of dog food with his dogs, and you're like, who? So it's like literally no barriers.
Yeah.
We have to lock the doors sometimes, don't we? Just in case Shazzy turns up. So it's super close, which is amazing.
When you're in a bad mood, it can be hard. Ben was in a really bad mood on the weekend, and my mum rocks up, and Ben was
it was
like...
6:30 and KL, God love her, rocks up, and I was
Ben was in
filthy.
a filthy mood because...
And then he's like, I'm going up for champagne. I was like, good, you should stay there tonight too. Sleep there.
He was in a filthy mood. So it does have its perks and its cons, like that, where it's like intertwined.
It wasn't your mum's fault.
No, it wasn't mum's fault. It was because you were in a bad mood.
Yeah.
And I could tell you were in a bad mood, and that made me feel awkward. And I'm like, okay, mum's just here for a good time and some champagne. Why are
sorry,
we
Kay, I didn't
acting
mean
like
to
this,
about that.
Ben? But
Yes.
it is because we don't have that. But it's incredible that I have that family support just up the road. Like, Dad sent me a photo today, and he took Bambi out to get a baby chino, and she's like falling asleep on the chest.
It's amazing.
We're very lucky.
Yeah, and then my family. I mean, we all used to live together and be really close because my parents are from the country, and then they moved about 7 hours away, and they moved recently to about 4 hours away to be closer to the grandkids, but we never see them. I mean, they've been through a little bit and stuff. So I mean,
It's hard. They've got lots of grandkids as well.
Lots of grandkids.
And they've grown up.
They've got the equivalent of us in their town because my brother and his wife are there with their kids. So it's just, I mean, just distances. My other brother and his wife and his son are in Central Coast. And so,
but when we
my
do see
sister's
your
about to have-
parents, they're so. Our kids love them. Like they're
There's a
obsessed.
bond there,
There's
and-
an amazing bond, even though we don't see them that much. There is an amazing bond, and they're very different to my parents. My parents are very, because my parents are younger, yours are older. So, but when your parents come, they're kind of like the calming aura.
Yeah.
And, your dad just does, I don't know how, but he just finds things to fix around the house. And Navy loves that. Like, give Navy a hammer and some screws, and like he'll fix it with jiddy.
Yeah.
And your mum is so, wants to hold the baby and will fold clothes and tidy up and just be in the house and be that like calming presence. And they're very different. And I think our kids need that different grandparents, same love, but very different in the way they hang with our kids. And it's great. Our kids love both. Yeah. Obviously they love both grandparents, but they love doing those both very different things.
Yeah.
One's very high energy, full on surfing.
Shazzy surfing. Like Shazzy thinks he's a bit of a fix-it man, but he's not.
He's
really.
not.
He
and then
can't.
when your parents
He's
come,
useless.
it's like they do. They fix everything. They find things to fix. They fold all the clothes.
Yeah.
They're like G and Gma. Like how you imagine like your grandparents when you think of grandparents.
Yeah, true.
Which is great. Our kids can have that. Even though we don't see it. GD and Gma, if you're watching this, come stay with us for 2 weeks. No, but it is, we are very lucky to have such a great support, even though it feels like sometimes we're drowning. We just have each other and neither of us we're both sinking. we do have support and we're very lucky. But thank you so much for sharing your insight, Big Eddy. I really appreciate you coming on and spending your day and opening up to us, because I know you don't open up a lot.
No.
We don't get a whole lot of time to chat and be intimate. We definitely don't get intimate.
Thank you
But it was
for-
nice to hear you. I think this will really help the dads, because being a dad can be isolating just as being a mum can be isolating. And I think there's not enough out there to hear and to relate to another dad. Thanks for doing it for the dads. Thanks for
Thank you.
coming. I love you. Have a good day at
I
work.
love you. Thank you.
Bye.
Bye.